Joining me today after a huge journey throughout Canada, I have Winnipegger Les Gillis joining me. Les, thank you for taking the time today.
My pleasure. It's great to be here again.
I would love to hear, and especially for those who don't know, tell us a little bit about what you did.
Well, in July, I decided, prior to July, I decided to make a journey across Canada from Winnipeg to the east and, of course, from Winnipeg to the west, which is going to be coming up in the springtime. And what I was out to accomplish or try to do is bring attention to the need for homeless shelter beds. And I left here on July the 15th, and I traveled for 1 month. And I stopped at as many places as I possibly could for the month. And I went from here to Cape Breton Island. I couldn't get to Newfoundland because the ferry, it was sold out, and I was limited of time. And I stopped in and I sang because I'm a musician. I sang for the soup kitchens, the shelters, the encampments. I've been in encampments, so I traveled nonstop for a month. So
wow,
lots.
So with this journey that you did, how did it go? Any major revelations or highlights?
Yeah, the last time I was here, I was really unsure about what to expect because, of course, I'd never done something like this before. And when I got out there and I really got a look at what was really going on, it was pretty horrific in a lot of ways. There's a lot of pain in our country. There's a lot of poverty in our country. There's a lot of addictions in our country. There's a lot of mental illnesses in our country. There's people that are just dealing with amazing problems that we only see small little increments of it as we travel down the street. But I actually went in firsthand, like right to the ground level, and I spoke with the people that were in crisis, and I also only interviewed and took photos of the staff and the volunteers because that's the folks that I was interested to get the information from. I didn't want to take any photos of anyone that was in crisis. So through my travels, I've been in some pretty scary places that a lot of people would really hesitate about going into because there was people that were actually sleeping right in the dirt in encampments. They had security guards in certain places, chain link fences where people were behind fences. There was lineups of people when I was playing, like 150, 175 people on the sidewalk as I'm playing for them, going into the shelters and singing for them. It did change a lot of the dynamics because people woke up, it seemed, because they were experiencing music. And then I got to talk to the directors. I interviewed them and the volunteers. And with that being said, it's a continuous thing because every town and city that I went to is experiencing the same problems. And everyone's in need. Every single place is in need. Even yesterday, I was at the Oak Table. They have music there every Thursday, and my friend Tom gave me a call and asked, if I would come over and play for an hour. And I was there yesterday. There's 130 people having lunch, and he's a good soul, and he goes there every Thursday, and he brings different musicians in to do that. And I actually mentioned in Wednesday's newspaper with the Winnipeg Sun that I really believe that there should be musical programs for all of the shelters and soup kitchens because music it really does make a difference for people because it makes them feel seen. You can make them feel part of it. You can get them to sing along. You can try to forget about your problems for a moment. So the journey was very driven with a lot of uncertainty and anxiety, and I had a lot of moments of I just broke down sometimes because I'm an emotional person anyway, but just seeing these people what they were going through, and I can't help them. Like, you know what I mean? I'm just trying to gather the information. And the last time I was here, my stats were so off because I was doing some research online and trying to find out what was needed across Canada. And I said there was 34,000 people that were homeless, are actually looking for a bed on any given evening. But when I did the calculation from here to Cape Breton Island, my calculations was 42,000 people from here to Cape Breton and Newfoundland too that are homeless right now.
So that's not the West.
That's not the West. That's just the East. So the stats are so off. And there's a big movement right now. It's on the radio. It's in the media about how they're uplifting these encampments and doing things like that. And all what's going on here is a Band-Aid stuff. I really feel in my heart that there should be some kind of a government intervention where it's focused only on this particular issue and take care of our citizens and not put Band-Aid on things and try to relocate people, because I've been in places where they taken people that were dealing with what I mentioned earlier on the outskirts of town and put them behind chain link fences. These people are not criminals. These people need help. And most of it's been driven by, in my opinion, mental health that develops into alcoholism and drug addictions. Not in every single case, but a lot of it. And I also believe that a lot of this has stemmed back from the 90s when the institutions, our mental institutions were closed down, and a lot of people went into halfway houses and rooming houses and stuff like that, and they ended up on the streets because they couldn't take care of themselves, right? And I think there's a huge hangover of that. A lot of people said, oh, the pandemic and all of this, there's a problem there, but I don't believe that. I just think the pandemic made everything more visible towards everybody. It brought everything to it's always been here. Now it's just more visible to everyone, right? So there is little tiny things that are being done, but my goodness, it's just not enough for anybody, right? It really is really bad. And if we don't take care of our people, we're going to be in trouble, And it's not just the homeless people. There's a lot of people that are struggling in this world, as we know, right? And as good Christians and as good people, all we can do is individual things and reach out and pick people up as much as we possibly can. And my drive and my spirit is directing me to try to bring as much attention as I can possibly do that, right?
Yeah.
So
I really appreciate all that you've done.
Yeah, thank you.
And you said you can't help people, but you are by doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah.
I appreciate that. You said you interviewed the volunteers and some of the directors and the staff. What would you say is the general overarching message that they got from you?
Their message is they need more subsidy. They need more money, of course. They all have enough beds in their shelters, but they just don't have enough. They're refusing people all the time. And so what's happening is that they're trying to direct them over here or go over there. Like in our capital city of Ottawa, there's hundreds of people on the street corners with only 300 beds at this particular, and it's super dangerous there. Where they, like in the soup kitchen next door to it, the lady mentioned to me that they have a really hard time to get people to volunteer because it's dangerous there and people are afraid. And that's understandable too. But from my experience in the homeless situations that I experienced in the encampments, I've been in several of those. I've been in drug encampments too, where people are using drugs openly, behind chain link fences with security guards, medical staff on hand. I've never once felt threatened. Homeless people just don't get up and start attacking people. If there's any problems, usually from what's going on, it's usually amongst what's in their circle, I guess I'm trying to say. They just don't randomly just attack people. So, but when you're in those facilities, that's where it can be dangerous, right? Because two people might not get along, or they might just rub each other the wrong way. But it was amazing because when the lady said, I hope, she said, you want me to get security to take you out? And I said, no, I'll be okay. But as soon as I started playing, I had two homeless guys walking me to my car and help me with my stuff, and they couldn't thank you enough for being there, right?
Yeah.
And it was sad. It was really a sad journey. And for the grace of God, they got me there and back, and that is really true. My family, of course, and my friends that I could talk to, right? Because it was such an emotional feeling that I had all the way through it.
Yeah. I was actually going to just expand on that, saying when you are surrounded, this is your focus. This is something that you're now seeing every day as you continue on this journey for an entire month.
Yeah.
How did you keep the light?
Well, I did a lot of praying, actually. I really did. And I just thought to myself, I said, I know that my spirit has driven me to try to bring some attention to the situation. And I had to trust that, right? And I didn't know what door was going to open or close. But on the way, it was like everything was just, it just opened up in front of me. How I met people, the people that I got to talk to, the homeless people that were warm and very friendly with me. The volunteers are beautiful. The directors are beautiful. They were just trying to do the best they can do. and they're just people like us, right? Just, trying to do the best, right?
Absolutely.
And everybody can point a finger or say something negative, but for the most part, they were just thankful. They were so appreciative that I was doing a video with them. And like I told them, I said, I'm going to try to put a video together after I go from the West back to Winnipeg too, and try to put a little bit of a documentary together and try to get some government assistance for everybody, as much as I can anyway. So knock, knock on that door, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, in any way that we can help spread this message further too, we want to do that.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's so important too, at CHVN, because I had people the last time I was here that reached out to me on my Facebook page, right? And also donated to my cause too. And of course, everything costs money. And I still have a GoFundMe online, and so it's Les Gillis, GILLIS GoFundMe. And I also saw a lot of people just went with direct deposit. It's or e-transfers rather. It's shelter us, one word, at yahoo.com, and people did donate that way. And of course, every nickel does count, and the money, well, I had to use some of my money too, of course, to do it because things are expensive, right? So I love to have someone sponsor me and say, hey, let's do this, let's put a plan together and do this, of course. And but maybe somebody will reach out to me and do that too, right?
Absolutely.
But in the meantime, I'm going to be doing house concerts. I'm going to be doing some volunteer stuff because I'm still going to the missions and doing things like that too, to try to keep, just to keep it alive as much as I possibly can too, right?
Do you have a date when you are going to start your Western journey?
Yeah. I'm thinking about the first or second week of, latest the second week of June.
Okay.
And I'm going to have to go
Please
longer.
come back.
Yes, I will, yeah, for
Good.
sure. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, we really appreciate you shedding a light on this and sharing your journey with us. Like I said, we want to have you back in the studio and wish you all the best as you continue on.
Thank you so much for your time.